Welcome back to San Diego People. I'm Lauren Finney. They say laughter is the best medicine, and for one local lifestyle coach, improv comedy and laughter are important tools for healing, confidence, and self-compassion. I'm joined now by a transformation recovery coach and improv comedian who empowers women through humor, Renee Kohn. Thank you so much, Renee, for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Lauren.
And you have such a broad variety of tools in your toolkit here. How did you get into this improv and using laughter to heal?
Kind of by accident, to be honest. Like a lot of things sometimes start. Growing up, I'd been really involved in musical theater and drama and all that fun performing arts stuff. And as I got into adulthood, I became a professional improv comedian. And I loved that. I had such a blast performing. And I, at the same time, was doing some empowerment coaching for women. And one day I thought, wow, what if they could go together? What if, while I was trying to help empower women and try to really get them to focus on their goals and find the strength within, what if we could laugh about it too and have a good time, and then that could help them tap in to the strengths within themselves? I had no idea if it would work at all. I was volunteering at some amazing organizations here in San Diego, like Shakti Rising, and I piloted the program. I called it Empower Play, or Healing Through Humor, and we tried it, and people loved it. They were like, wait a minute, I could go after what I want, I could manifest my dreams and realities, and I could laugh my butt off at the same time.
At the same time.
Kind of cool.
Yes. And after all of that, I mean, it was a process to get there, because what I didn't mention in your intro is that you've overcome some addiction and some really dark moments in your early upbringing.
Yes.
And I'll have you share some of that and really how you overcame that.
Absolutely. Growing up in my family, unfortunately, like so many other families, there was a lot of mental health issues, and there was physical abuse, sexual abuse, and it was so challenging that in order for me to survive, what I needed to do was really disconnect myself emotionally. So I became really a human doing instead of a human being, and I was really focused on excelling in my life in different areas, in school and drama and other areas, and it worked for me for quite a long time. I turned to food, and that was a comfort. It became a full-blown, really serious addiction, along with a lot of very unhealthy, toxic relationships. And in about my early 20s, my life really fell apart. I completely was at my rock bottom. I was depressed. I really didn't want to be here on this planet anymore. I didn't want to end my life, but I just didn't want to be in this pain. And what I found through my own personal journey was that really embracing the pain and connecting with what I'd been avoiding for the first 20 years of my life from my traumatic childhood was what would set me free. And under a lot of that grief and pain and rage and shame was so much joy and fun and happiness. And the thing that I didn't know is, because I had disconnected myself from some of the more challenging emotions, that I was also depriving myself of some of the joy and some of the fun. And once I connected with that, I wanted to share it with the world, because I really felt like I wasn't alone and that other people could really relate. You don't have to come from a background of trauma or abuse. We sometimes just disconnect with the value and the greatness and the wholeness of who we are. And once I had been on my healing journey and got to that place, I really felt like I wanted to share it with the world and use humor as well.
So talk about some of the workshops you do and
Sure.
how you bring women in and get them to get in touch with our funny selves and the joy that's there, instead of all the stress and all the child rearing, the wifing, all the other stuff that comes with being a woman.
The carpooling. All right, well, you're lucky that we're seated today, or I'd make you do a little zip, zap, zop action.
Okay.
One of the workshops that I do, we play just these super fun games. Zip, zap, zop is a game that focuses on living in the moment. You get a group of people together, you zip, you zap, you zop, and you keep it going, and eventually you end up messing up, because that's what we do. And I use the parallels of the tools of improv comedy, daring to fail big and fail forward. I use those lessons just like in real life. And what I found out was being a goofball and letting people connect to their bodies and have fun and let loose and just be their authentic selves really allowed them to connect with some of the deeper authenticity and richness of who they are. So we play fun games, we have a blast, we laugh, and the purpose of it really is to be empowered, to go to some deeper levels within ourselves and find out what are those limiting beliefs or those barriers that could be standing in my way of really living my authentic greatness.
Yeah. So how can we use some of these techniques in our daily life? I mean, we're really kind of connecting the physicalness of everything to get in touch with the humor and the joy as well. I mean, literally like shaking off the bad stuff, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And absorbing the good.
Right, right. There's another game, Shake It Off, that we do, and that shifts the energy. And in my workshops, I talk about when we're in stressful situations, we can really literally shake it off like that Taylor Swift song, and it does something. It kind of gets the negativity out and allows us to get into a more positive state. And the way that people can use these improv exercises that they learn in my workshop in real life is by connecting to the lessons that they bring. For instance, the power of being present. I swear, girl, if you do the zip, zap, zop, you can't think about the grocery list. You can't think about what time to pick up carpool. You are in that moment. And I know for me, when I really lean in and I use the power of being present, my life rocks. It works. It flows. I listen. I'm more compassionate and understanding, and I have more to give and to serve. And so the power of being present, the power of saying yes and in improv, that's a very key foundational tool to make a scene work. And in life, when we use yes and, we're saying yes to an experience, and then we're challenging ourselves to what can we dive into next? What can we bring to that project, to our work, to our relationships that can make it even more richer and fuller.
Yeah. So a lot of that is just functioning better on a daily basis. And I want to touch a little bit on what we were talking about last segment, and that is self-esteem and that self-love. So as a life coach, what tools do you give women and even men, because I saw them in that class that you were teaching.
Yes.
What tools?
That was my very brave husband, by the way.
That's a good husband.
Yes.
What tools?
He's a keeper.
What tools do you tell men and women in order to really practice that self-love and improve self-esteem?
Okay, I am a huge believer of, the old Stuart Smiley from Saturday Night Live, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and, gosh darn it, people like me. I'm a huge believer of affirmations, and not just saying them, but looking in your own eyes in the mirror and saying them so it really penetrates your soul. They say the eyes are the windows of the soul.
Right.
And really, I started doing affirmations 20 years ago. I didn't love myself a bit, not even this much. And I forced myself through the encouragement of a therapist and a women's support group to look myself in my eyes and to say, I love and approve of myself exactly as I am. I didn't believe it, but I did eventually, through the power of repetition, through the power of just committing to saying it over and over again.
Renee, such great tips. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I do want to talk really quickly about a workshop that we're doing on June 9th.
June 9th.
Thank you so much for indulging me. So June 9th, we have an amazing workshop from 9 to noon. It's going to be at Pemberley Realty. Come and play and have fun. There's going to be 2 other fabulous women there empowering you. And zip, zap, zop, girlfriend, we'll see you there.
I love it. I'm going to mark that in my calendar.
Do it.
Still ahead on San Diego People, self-defense techniques every woman should know to feel and stay safe. We'll be right back.